Barry's mom is kind of hot. What's going on, everyone? My name is Savitar Steel, and let's talk about the Flash Season 3 finale episode that just aired. I gotta be honest with you, I didn't really like this episode. Not saying it didn't have good stuff in it, but I was expecting more, way more than what I got. And the lead up to Season 4, I'm excited to see what they come up with, but to say I'm like extremely excited for it, not really. I'll obviously watch it, and my mind will probably change when the actual show starts back up. But right now, I am a little underwhelmed. I might watch it again just to see if that changed my mind, but we'll see. So this episode, we saw the issue of Savitar. Iris didn't die. Jay came out of the Speed Force. The Speed Force erupted in Central City, and that bled into Season 4. This episode had a lot of good stuff. Some bad stuff, which for me, it surpasses the amount of good stuff. But let's get into the good stuff. Iris didn't die. That's great. That's good for Barry. It's good for the show, for Team Flash. It sucks for the Snowberry fans that want Barry and Caitlin to be together because Iris didn't die. But it's good for us. Iris didn't die. I was wrong how I said I predicted that Joe was gonna die. He was gonna take Iris' spot and use HR's transmogrifier device. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. I've tried that so many times. I thought that was gonna happen. I really did. HR went through with what he said last episode. He wanted to be a hero. He wanted to be useful to the team, and he was. He was very useful. This episode, he's very useful all the time. I love HR, but poor guy died. But we got Harry back, so that's cool. Either way, we have Tom Cavanaugh. Whichever Earth he is from, we have Tom Cavanaugh, no matter what. I like the way they revealed that HR was the one that switched places with Iris, with the drumsticks just falling. I really like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Another good thing, Caitlin is back, sort of. She will stay on as Killer Frost, which I love. I love her as Killer. I mean, she's not really. She said she needs to figure stuff out, and she's not Killer Frost anymore. But she's keeping her cold powers, which is cool. But she doesn't want to kill, but she doesn't want to be Caitlin. I don't know what's her deal, but I'm so glad she's back. But what I'm kind of disappointed of, does that mean Tracy Brand is gone? Is that what that means? Because I was really starting to like her. Not just like her as a character, but like her with HR. Because her dynamic with the team, it was cool, and it was just like just starting. She was witty, and she was a pretty good addition to Team Flash. But now that HR is gone, I don't know if she would fully replace Caitlin as the other scientists on the show. I don't know. We have to see until we get more details of what is going on in Season 4. And when that happens, you're the first people that's going to know. Jay is back. Jay is back. I really miss Jay Garrick in these shows. I really miss Jay Garrick in these past couple episodes since he was trapped in the Speed Force. But he's back. I know this isn't like really I mean, it is related, but not super. But out of all aside from maybe Wally's, Jay's suit is the suit I love the most out of all the Flashes. I think aside from Zoom's suit was awesome. But yeah, just putting that out there. But Jay's back. So as Savitar's plan A failed when he realized he was getting some memories that Iris was alive and that HR took her place, he went into plan B, which was get the speed cannon that Tracy Brand created, open up a portal, and shoot himself with the beam so that he can have small fragments of himself in every timeline. He can have, like he said, from the Big Bang to when the Earth died. That is pretty awesome plan B if you would ask me. That's a pretty awesome plan B if I do say so myself. That is when Jay came back, when Cisco fixed the speed cannon, and Caitlyn shot Savitar. He said he made like a skeleton key so that he could open the doors of the Speed Force, and whoever was trapped in there, in this case Jay, can come out. And he came out, punched Savitar, and he came back on Team Flash. But with him being back, that created the problem of that in the Speed Force, someone always has to be in there. The Speed Force has to have a prisoner. Savitar was in there, he came out. Wally was in there. To get Wally out, Jay was trapped in there. So someone has to be there. So that brought upon the problem that is going to be season 4. Towards the end of the episode, it was all fine and dandy, and then the Speed Force opened up in Central City. A bunch of lightning bolts came coming down and earthquakes, or it seemed like they were earthquakes. All hell broke loose in Central City. And then Team Flash realized that it was a Speed Force, and the problem was that someone needed to be trapped in there, and the Speed Force was not happy about that, and that is why all hell broke loose in Central City. And then Barry decided, very selfless of him for once, he decided to give himself up as tribute. I wish he would have done that. That would have been so funny. But he decided to give himself up so that he could save everyone. So he walked away with Nora Allen, aka the Speed Force, so that he could be trapped in there, and then everybody will be safe. So that leads into season 4. What will happen? Because Barry was in the Speed Force already. If you remember from season 2, Barry was in the Speed Force already when Barry lost his speed, and he had to essentially catch himself when he was in the Speed Force. What, like 2 episodes when Kevin Smith directed? Barry was stuck in the Speed Force, and then Cisco had to go and get him. Now that lasted for 2 episodes. I don't want to see that for a whole season, unless in the Speed Force we have a crazy amount of criminals in there that are locked in there for a reason. Then that would be pretty interesting. That would be really interesting. But if it is just a little bit of the same thing, which obviously it's not gonna be, but if it is, I could watch it for 1 episode, but I can't watch it for more. So let's talk about the bad stuff in this episode. For me, it overwhelmed the good stuff. 1, to fix this problem of Savitar, I felt like it was just so kind of too easy. So when the CW dropped a scene earlier today, it was a scene where Barry was talking to Savitar and trying to tug at his feelings and remember Savitar of the good stuff, the good memories, the stuff that he wasn't being neglected, the stuff from his childhood of family and togetherness and all that. Savitar decided to follow Barry into Star Labs, and then from there he talked to everyone. I was on Julian's side because he hated him. That makes sense to me. But Barry wanted to help, Iris wanted to help to get him back up on his feet and just not be such a douche all the time. But I don't know, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like a proper finale for me whatsoever. I don't know, I felt like what's gonna happen next week, but what's gonna happen in like a couple months, like I don't know, I didn't like it. That was just my big thing. The way they found to resolve the issue and just trying to get Savitar on his good side, I don't know, it just didn't work for me. The second thing, I know it may seem like I'm just probably gonna say 2 things that didn't click with me in this episode. I feel like others might agree with me of how these 2 things just surpass the amount of good things that I said. The second thing, which is the biggest thing for me, is that this episode just didn't come together. It was too easy with the resolve, like how I just said. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So the episode started, we saw that Iris didn't die. Barry tried to get Savitar to be nice, and then when Jay came out, they all confronted Savitar. Savitar died. It was all good. And then, the problem for next episode. I don't know, that is kind of how it happened last season. But last season had problems way before. I mean, so did this, but I don't know, this just didn't, it had its moments, but that's all it had. Moments. I wasn't as involved as with the past episodes of this season. Even last week's episode, I was like wanting more, and this obviously I want more, But this episode, I was like, get me back to last week. Like, I don't know, it just didn't. It didn't click with me like whatsoever. But aside from all of that, I had a lot of fun this season of The Flash. I just started these videos a little while ago, so I didn't get the whole full season. I didn't even get the whole second half of the season. I got a couple episodes, but you'll for sure know that I will be back for Flash season 4, new season of Arrow, new season of Legends. I didn't get a chance to do those. I will for sure do that in the upcoming seasons. But until then, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead. I'll be pumping out content. My schedule that I'm planning for this channel is uploading content 2 times a week on Tuesdays, obviously, because that is the day I started with. Tuesday nights Flash. Even though Flash will not air, I will talk about shows, movies, everything. And another day, I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I will get back to you as soon as I do. But until then, subscribe, comment, like, share. My name's been Hasiel Castillo, and I will catch you next time.